Words have meaning and there are consequences for actions. We saw over the past 2 weeks the entire GOP, the entire Conservative Party, blame all black people for the stabbing of Irina Zarutska, the Ukrainian refugee who got stabbed to death on a train in Charlotte. Well, now, because the conservatives are lunatics who decided that every single black person in the United States is responsible for that, well, now we've got lynchings happening again. You've got people, black people, hanging by their necks from trees, from bridges, and the right wing is to blame for this. Anybody, and you saw my video on this last week, anybody and everybody who is stupid enough to blame an entire race for the actions of one psychopath is somebody who should not be allowed to vote. And I do mean that. Chris, I thought you were pro-democracy. I am. But I do believe that there should be a minimum criteria that you have to meet in order to be given the right to vote. Because that's what it is. It is a right. And to be frank, I genuinely don't believe that some people in the United States of America should be given the right to vote. I mean that. Call it whatever the fuck you want, but there are people out there who are too stupid for their own good, and they are unwittingly bringing about the destruction of our society by allowing right-wing ideology to molest our nation. It's disgusting. On top of that, we've got a pro-Trump rapper making a song about lynching black people, calling them hard R's in the song. And then remember how Brian Kilmeade was saying on Fox News that we should just start killing homeless people? Well, later that day, somebody who I'm assuming watches Fox News decided to get their gun, go to a homeless camp, and fucking shoot it up. Shot 8 people at a homeless camp. And I said it before, and I'll say it again. Brian Kilmeade needs to be fired. Brian, there's other things that should happen, but I'm not gonna say them. But you know what I mean. Let's cover this. Hi, I'm Chris Valenti. Welcome to the Valenti VOD. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. It costs you nothing, and it helps me immensely. And always remember, this is real independent media. I have no funding, so if you want to help me out financially, please do. You could buy merch. You could use the discount code for Ground News. You can hit the thanks button. You can become a member, and you can become a patron on Patreon. Big shout out to all the patrons. Big shout out to all the members. And thank you very much for 97,000 subs. Without further ado, let's just dive right into this terrible news. Family of Mississippi University student found hanged to pursue independent autopsy. Jackson, Mississippi. The family of a black student whose body was found hanging from a tree on a university campus in the Mississippi Delta called for transparency in the death investigation on September 16th after recent statements in the case sparked anger and skepticism on social media. The body of Tremart Trey Reed, 21, was found hanging from a tree in the middle of Delta State University's campus behind pickleball courts around 7:05 a.m. local time on September 15th, according to university police. While police said there was no evidence of foul play and ruled the death as a suicide, classes and events scheduled for the school's centennial celebrations were canceled for that day. Now, here's where my opinion comes into this. I will never, ever believe that any person hangs themselves from a tree at a university of their own volition, especially a black person, knowing the history behind lynching. You could literally give me forensic evidence of this, and I will still not believe you. Maybe that makes me a conspiracy theorist, or maybe that makes me the only fucking realist left. The investigation into Reed's death remains ongoing, and university police have requested assistance from the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation as well as the local police department and sheriff's office, according to the Delta State Police Chief Michael Peeler. Following the incident, rumors circulated online questioning the circumstances regarding Reed's death, which were disputed by Bolivar County Coroner Randolph Seals Jr. Investigate him immediately. During a news conference on September 16th, Attorney Vanessa J. Jones said her firm is representing Reed's family and is initiating its own investigation into his death, beginning with an independent autopsy. Quote, "We will seek answers independently from Delta State University and from the coroner's office, and, if need be, independent from the state coroner's office, because we need answers as to what happened to Trey Reed. Were there cameras? There should have been cameras at the university that could easily enlighten us to what happened in the early morning of September 15th, 2025. Local coroner disputes claims that the student was found with broken limbs." That's fucking crazy. Social media alleged that Reed had 2 broken legs and other injuries that would have prevented him from hanging himself. These speculations were later disputed in a statement on September 15th by SEALs. Again, I don't believe them. Suspect hanging from a tree, or subject. Thank God they didn't say suspect. Based on the preliminary examination, we can confirm that the deceased did not suffer any lacerations, contusions, compound fractures, broken bones, or injuries consistent with an assault. At this time, there is no evidence to suggest the individual was physically attacked before his death. So we got lynchings happening again, and I know based on what you're reading there, you go, no, this guy clearly committed suicide. Bullshit. Mississippi. Bullshit. It's Mississippi. We're probably talking about a sundown university, let alone a sundown town. We're going to move on to, just to show you why I believe this is a lynching. You guys probably recognize this fat, hideous piece of shit, fascist, Nazi fucking thumb of a human being. I forgot his fucking name because he's actually useless, but outrage as pro-Trump rapper and country singer release pro-lynching song, Hang 'em Up High at Sundown. Hang 'em Up High at Sundown. Friendly reminder that you, leftist, you are up against Nazis and the Ku Klux Klan. No, but like literally. Why am I up against the Ku Klux Klan? Hold on a second. There's a Ku Klux Klan member in my chat. Let me just get rid of that Ku Klux Klan member. Kirk Klux Klan. A white rapper known for viral anthems supporting Donald Trump has released a music video with a country singer over a banjo riff. The chorus of Good vs. Evil from MAGA rapper Forgiato Blow and singer J.J. Lawhorn repeats instructions for hanging people at sundown. Oh, the song calls for a big tall tree and a short piece of rope to hang 'em up at sundown. I'll leave 'em swinging so the folks all know you don't mess around in our town. I'm singing this because I refuse to play this fucking song. A verse from Forgiato Blow, whose real name is Kurt Jantz, lists 3 white murder victims whose killer or accused killers are black and Latino. Yeah, there it is. I guarantee you he's going to say Zarutska. He named the killings of Austin Metcalf, Laken Riley, and Irina Zarutska, who was fatally stabbed on a bus in North Carolina. Jantz says she was killed by a N-word with a hard R. Look at this fucking redneck. Dude, friendly reminder. Look at these two. Friendly reminder, you are up against inferior vermin. Inferior vermin. Later, Lawhorn sings, we ought to do this like the day we ought to do it like they did it way back in the day because Granddaddy's way works best. Okay, so you're just saying it's time to start lynching black people. Like, all right, these two should be arrested and, fuck, dude, you can't say anything anymore. These two should be arrested and should be given the wrath of God. I do fucking mean that. The song follows the assassination of right-wing Christian activist and living Nazi Charlie Kirk, who has provided the Trump regime with a framework to prosecute Democratic officials and left-wing groups by using a sweeping campaign against protected speech. I'm done being silent in my faith. Jance wrote in a post on Instagram sharing the song. I'm done being a silent conservative. I'm no longer concerned that truth may hurt your feelings. Jesus is coming back and we are all part of his mission. I am Charlie Kirk. Somebody has to say it. The mayor of Magaville has been the face of MAGA rap. In the wake of all the violent killings recently, it's time to bring back public executions. Oh my God, dude, the irony. Again, inferior vermin dog people. There's so many violent killings recently. We should bring back public executions. That's literally, like, dude, honestly, most of your rights should be taken away. Most of your rights should be taken away. You are the person that we should be sending to Alligator Alcatraz with no due process. Fuck it. You should go to a concentration camp. Cancel me. I don't give a shit. You built the camp and then nicknamed it after the man-eating reptiles surrounding it. Fuck you. No due process. Get in the ice van. Get to the concentration camp. Have fun. Have fun. Work will set you free. You fucking piece of shit. Oh my God, look at him. These are the people that we're up against. People, in quotes. These are the creatures that we are up against, bro. Oh, God. All right. Move on. So, Brian Kilmeade, let's just play this clip. We watched this in one of my most recent videos. If you haven't seen this, Brian Kilmeade called for the execution, or honestly, he called for the genocide of homeless people. Just watch.
They have given billions of dollars to mental health and the homeless population. A lot of them don't want to take the programs. A lot of them don't want to get the help that is necessary. You can't give them a choice. Either you take the resources that we're going to give you, or you decide that you're going to be locked up.
No, you hear that and you go, that's crazy, man. Like, this is America. Like, we have freedom. Like, you can't just force people to do things. And you're like, that's crazy. That's the craziest thing they're going to say, right? Right?
In jail. That's the way it has to be now.
Or involuntary lethal injection or something. Just kill them.
Yeah, Brian, why did it happen?
What? Did you just say involuntary lethal injection? Just kill them? So you just said just murder them, just kill them, because involuntary lethal injection is just murder. So you just said, yeah, why don't we just murder them? Just kill them. And then, of course, as you know, we covered it in our recent video, Brian Kilmeade then had to issue a public apology for this. But sorry, too fucking late, you goddamn fascist. More than a dozen injured in Minneapolis shootings at homeless camp near transit station. And yes, this was Brian Kilmeade's fault. Brian Kilmeade killed these homeless people. Fox News is a terrorist organization that needs to be destroyed by any means necessary. 8 people have been wounded, including 4 with critical injuries, in a shooting at a homeless camp on a private property in Minneapolis. The shooting happened just hours and blocks away from another shooting that left 5 injured near a transit station, as city officials acknowledge a spate of recent violent crime in the area. Those shootings come particularly violent summer for the Minneapolis area. The assassination of Minnesota House Speaker Melissa Hortman and her husband and their dog. Oh, there was a mass shooting at a church, killed 2 children. Like, I just love how, like, the one through line for all of this violence that we're seeing throughout the nation, the one through line is easy access to guns. It's the one through line that nobody will ever fucking mention on the right. And then here's the thing, I'm a gun owner. I firmly believe in the Second Amendment. I also believe in arming the proletariat so that the working class has a way to resist against their oppressors. But there also needs to be specific requirements in order for you to be eligible to have a firearm. You know what I mean? I believe that there's a certain age you should have to be. There's a certain mental acuity that you should have to have. There's certain background checks you should have to clear. I shouldn't be able to just walk to the gun store, buy a high-powered rifle with a high-capacity magazine, and then walk out within 2 hours. Because that's what it was. Me buying my gun, very easy. Very easy. Too easy. I firmly believe it should be like a week-long process. You should have to go, get the background check. It takes days and days and days of them checking your record before they can give you a rifle, like truly. But no, in this nation, we have this firm belief that anybody and everybody, including the mentally ill, should have access to high-powered rifles and high-capacity magazines. Now, I want to end this on one happy story, which is this is how the Brits welcomed Trump at Windsor Castle. They projected him and Epstein onto the fucking castle. I was Donald's closest friend for 10 years. Just so you know, the people who did this got arrested. Because the UK literally does not have any semblance of freedom of speech. 4 men have been arrested after images of Donald Trump and convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein were projected onto Windsor Castle on Tuesday as the U.S. president arrived in the UK for a state visit. They were arrested on suspicion of malicious communications following a public stunt. Malicious communications? Brother, you're getting arrested for projecting something onto a fucking wall. Your nation is a joke. A 60-year-old from East Sussex, a 30-year-old and a 50-year-old from London, and a 37-year-old from Kent. Trump was meeting King Charles. Long live the king! Welcome to the UK, Donald, is what it said. But yeah, at least we got a little bit of a happy story, a little bit of some resistance showing, you know. Granted, it's not enough. It's never going to be enough. We're up against Nazis. We're up against fascists. We're up against Ku Klux Klan members. And I do genuinely fear that September 17th, 2026 will look very, very different than September 17th, 2025. I weep for my nation every goddamn day. Anyway, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. It costs you nothing, and it helps me immensely. Thank you so much for 97,000 subs. We're inching closer and closer to 100K. I'm going to try to be live as the number rolls over to 100K. It'll be fun. I'll get Uvi involved. It'll be like a whole little public, it'll be fun. Maybe we could play some games together, you know, a little celebration, a little unplug from the politics for a second, just because, we live in hell. Do me one last favor. Click that video over there. It's a banger. And I know bangers.